What's up, YouTube streets? This is Kiki Speaks, here for another review for Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Season 2, Episode 5. I know it's been a while since I've done a review, and it's just very late, but I was on vacation, had a great vacation, and then I had a massive outbreak on my face, so I did not want to come on camera with my face looking crazy. So here I am about a couple weeks late with this review, but I'm gonna get to it anyway because I'm about to do my YouTube stuff. All right, so let's get into the episode. So this episode basically picks up where the last one left off, with Jasmine crying and Summer comforting her about Bria after Bria shared the news or her issue with Mariah, and Mariah returning to the house, where I don't really think there's a real issue with that. It's just something that she's coming up with for attention, in my personal opinion, because it really isn't that deep. Anyway, Jasmine really broke down because on top of Bria's flip-flopping, Mariah's return, well, on top of Bria's flip-flopping ass about Mariah's return, Jasmine especially is concerned about her husband Silas. Silas is currently deployed, and he has a set amount of time of when he's supposed to return, but you could never be too sure with those things because they might need them to stay there longer, and Jasmine is currently pregnant, so he's already going to miss the birth of their first child together. Then to have him stay longer, she's just concerned about, also on top of being worried about if something potentially could happen to him over there while he's deployed, or happen to her and the baby while they're here and he's over there. So she has a million things just running through her mind at the time, and she's just so over people coming up with the issue every single day. It's like a never-ending soap opera in the house at this point. It's always something. Somebody is crying every single day in that house about something that's going on within their lives, or something that took place last season that they're just now bringing up. It's just something that's constantly going on that you can never get a real break from, or you can never really get too much clarity on. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's what it is. So I definitely feel for Jasmine and this instance, especially being that she's pregnant. It's just a lot of stress on her, worrying about this person's feelings, that person's feelings, on top of her husband being away, on top of having to care for her unborn child at the moment. It's just too much. It's weighing heavy on her. And she just wants someone who's going to be there to support her while her husband is away and while she's carrying this baby. So I know it's stressful for her. I know it's stressful enough when you're pregnant, but having to do it without your partner, and especially him being deployed, is a different kind of stress for her. Jasmine just wants to be surrounded by people who she cares about and who cares for her and the well-being of her unborn child. Amid Bria, girl, I thought we was gonna do better this season with Bria. It's not looking good for you, sis. Like, I don't know what made you just turn on this personality or characteristic that you had last season and bring it into this season. Like, we thought we was gonna be good. I mean, there has been a little bit of growth, but as the episodes have progressed or went on, you still the same old chick from last season. You just wrapped it up a little tighter and try to hide it for a little bit, but the shit is showing. Your slip is showing, girl. Anyway, amid Bria running her mouth about not feeling comfortable about Mariah's return, Preston inserts, well, if I was the only one in the house who didn't want Phil to return, would my feelings have been respected? And Bria immediately says yes. And I immediately do not believe her when she says that. By the way, and it's because by the way that she's acting, she's the only person at this point in time who does not want Mariah coming to the house, and she's having a whole entire fit and tantrum about it. So imagine if it was on the other end, where because she likes Phil. Phil is her boy. So imagine if it was on the other end where Preston was the only person who didn't want Phil in the house. She would definitely feel some type of way. And just by her conversation with Phil on the phone after that house meeting, where she says that people didn't want him come back to the house, and especially Preston, how she pinpointed him out of that whole situation where it looked like Amir had the most to say and Nick had the most to say. It was kind of crazy. Like, I don't believe her when she said that she would have had Preston's back if he was the only person who did not want Phil in that house. I don't believe it. She lying. She fake. She phony. She lying. The way that she was just talking crap, it just didn't make any sense that that would have been her stance when it came to Preston. I don't believe it. She is now asking not only Jasmine but the house to respect her feelings about her uncomfortability with Mariah returning, and she's the only one who has an issue with Mariah at this point. Bria, I really thought we was gonna do better, but we started off real nice. It was real comfortable, but now you just showing your bratty, immature, insecure little girl ass. Girl, stop. Like, stop. Nick tries to get Bria under control and tries to tell her to stop yelling in a restaurant. He's like, look at where we are. Like, you need to calm down. Don't you care about what people think? And she's like, no. And she continues to go on. And Nick is just like over it. So after that whole thing, they basically just get back in the car and all decide to go home. And then Bria's in the car with, I believe it's Noelle, Amir, Shanice, and Alex, and she says that none of them had her back at the restaurant when it came to the whole Mariah thing. Nobody had her back. Nobody there had her back. I don't think they believe her issue with Mariah is that deep to be having her back on something like this. Like, honestly, actually, the people who were really there, like, Shanice wasn't there, but Amir, who was the cause of it, not for nothing, and Alex don't feel it was that deep for her to be acting the way that she's acting or reacting to Mariah returning. It really wasn't. If anybody should have a problem, it should be the dudes who had that interaction with Phil. Mariah was not on one like Phil was on one last season. Dude came in the house for his few hours, made his little cameo, and he made a big lasting impression on all of them and left everybody with a bad taste in their mouth. Mariah did not do that. The only person who has an issue with Mariah is Bria. And is it valid to me? No. To other people, it may be, but who knows? I'm not saying that she should have, put her hands, even though she placed her hands, in my opinion, on Bria. I don't think it was that deep. She didn't beat up the girl. Like, Summer dragged Bria on the floor, yet here we are. You and Summer are buddy-buddy. Y'all kumbaya, y'all hanging out, all of that, right? But it was okay that Summer did that to you. Like, she literally put hands on you in a very physical way. But you real cool with her. It makes me wonder, like what's that about? Anyway, when they get into the house, everyone starts to get ready for bed. Milo is upstairs in Bria's room tearing shit up, like he is, being the dog that he is, being left in the house for God knows how long. He just starts tearing things up. He's knocking down her makeup, scattering all over the floor, and pulling toilet tissue from the bathroom and spreading it all over the floor, just causing a whole big mess. He's acting like he doesn't have any home training, which I don't necessarily think he does. But anywho, Nick is downstairs letting Bria know that Milo is upstairs crying for her. And Bria, I guess she heard something different from Nick. I guess you could blame it on the alcohol. But she thought that Nick called her a hoe. So she starts going off and snaps on Nick's Like, I believe she said, shut the F up. I don't care what you call me, a hoe, a drag queen, a slut, call me whatever. I don't care. Girl, why would you think Nick called you a hoe? That doesn't even sound like something that he would actually do or say. Not for nothing. At least that's not what he portrays on the show, for him to come out his mouth in that manner. It was so out of left field. Bria then goes upstairs and walks in her room and sees her shit all over the floor and proceeds to ask Milo, who did this? Bitch, you left him there by himself. Who you think did it? Seriously, like, really? And that's not the first time she does that. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. Like, he's a dog in a room left by himself, and you come in there and you ask. She was obviously drunk. Anyway, meanwhile, Jasmine goes into Shanice's room, and she goes into Shanice's room and to apologize about bringing up the stalker situation with her ex last season. She brought it to the table so basically Alex could clear up what he learned and about that whole situation, and just, she wanted everybody to clear the air, kind of thing. I don't think it was any ill will on her part. I don't think she was trying to make drama or anything like that. She just wanted everybody to come to the table with whatever issue they had and just sort it out right there on the table. And she had been told that they found out information about Shanice on the internet by Googling her. Somebody Googled her and sent over the information to Alex, and basically what happened from there. And Jasmine just wanted to apologize for the role she played in getting that information out to the public, even though it was already out to the public, but rehashing it on, national television, kind of thing. So Shanice is forgiving of Jasmine. Two things about this scene that I noticed. One, Jasmine is really trying to make amends with her friends and trying to fix any and all wrongdoings from last season. She knows that she definitely needs her friends. She wants them to be there for her. So she's trying to make amends and just clear things up and clear the air. I got that same thing from her last season, but, in a different kind of way. Where she felt like she had it all together. She just want everybody else to seem that way as well. But I think in this season you see her more vulnerable because she doesn't have, her solid base. And, it is what it is. So I guess she's trying to make amends and just trying to clear things up from last season, which I totally understand. Number two, Shanice is still going through it on top of other things, like having to pay $5,000 to obtain a lawyer for the lawsuit by her ex. She's still going through it. I feel like her ex suing her after he lost the case against her about this whole stalker-ish. He's just keep on bringing it back to her, trying to hit her in different ways, and it's devastating to her. But Shanice seems like she's gonna roll with the punches and just continue to have a good time and just enjoy the time that she has there, which I very much appreciate about her. But she's like a breath of fresh air sometimes, but you see that there's things that's just weighing on her, but she's not trying to put that on anybody else, not even us as the viewers. She's not really trying to do that. She's just trying to be the breath of fresh air amongst all of the the rest of the housemates. After cleaning up Milo's mess, Bria goes back downstairs to the kitchen where she sees Nick, and Nick asks her why did she go off on him earlier, and she says, I thought you called me a hoe. And it was just ridiculous. Again, why would he say that? That doesn't make any sense. But then Bria goes goes into why Nick and Alex don't come upstairs with her and just hang out with her, or maybe even take a nap with her, like her sleep support. Girl, what? I was very confused by that because I never heard that in my life. Sleep support, never heard it in my life, and neither have they. But she goes on to explain what sleep support is. And basically, someone who finds comfort in sleeping in the same bed as someone. Oh, with someone. It's not supposed to be an intimate thing, but just mental comfortability, I guess. I don't know. Nick then says he cannot be anyone's sleep support because he has a girlfriend and Bria has a boyfriend, which I completely understand because that's crazy. Like, why would I have another dude in my bed when I have a boyfriend, or have another woman in my bed when I have a girlfriend? That's crazy. Anyway, Nick goes on to make a quick little joke that I found kind of funny. He goes on to say, if Simon knocked on the door and saw them together in bed, and Nick says he's sleep support, and I know Simon asks, who are you? And Nick says, well, I'm sleep support. It will not go over well. As for anyone who's in a relationship with anybody, you bringing someone else in to sleep in the bed with you as support, that's kind of weird, but whatever. The next day, everyone in the house goes out to play basketball at what I believe is a local gym or recreational gym. Shanice and Alex have a background in basketball, so they are excited to show off their skills. As everyone is in the middle of a game, Preston and Bria goes off to the side. They're not playing in the game, but they go off to the side to talk about what happened the night before and how things kind of got out of hand. Bria or Preston, got a little upset with Bria, talking about she was being a brat and, she's immature and all of this stuff because she was just going off in the middle of the restaurant about not wanting Mariah to come to the house, and how she's just going to start suppressing her feelings about things because nobody ever want to listen to her. So she's going to yell at the top of her lungs to get the attention that she needs so everyone could listen to her. Okay, but anyway, as everyone's in the middle of the game, they go off to the side and they talk, and Preston is basically saying like, well, I love you, but sometimes you can be a bit of a brat, but I just want you to know that I see you as my little sister, and I just don't want things to be bad. Basically, he doesn't want things to be bad between them. And Bria reciprocated his feelings. She loves him as well. She wants to continue to be friends with him and, just move on from that situation. She knows she could be a little bit of a brat and a little much at times, but, that's just the way she is, I guess, right? So they basically smooth things over from the night before about the whole situation. Bria tries to reassure Preston that she cares for him and she has his back, while Preston tells Bria that he cares for her as well. Let's see. He then agrees to speak with Phil, which I found somewhat surprising, but not really. But he agrees to speak with Phil, to listen, to hear him out, to see what he has to say, and basically clear the air, because he doesn't want any lingering feelings about what transpired last year. But he also wants to make sure that Phil knows, like, listen, like, that what you did was messed up, and basically you owe me an apology, just like you owe the rest of the people in his house an apology, more so the guys, because he really tried to go at them more so than anybody. Jordan, on the other hand, I'm not sure. Girl was on one. I don't know. But either way, Preston decides that he's going to have a conversation with Phil when the time is right. Preston and Bria hug it out, and they decide to just move on. Noelle ends up getting sick in the middle of a game and runs to the bathroom, where she throws up. Shanice winds up spraining her ankle, so they all just decide to just, end the game and go home. Back at the house, everyone with the exception of Noel and Shanice gets ready to go out for the club, or to the club for the night. Bria annoyingly thinks it's a great idea to bring Milo with them to the club. Now, she says that the reason for her doing so is because in other countries, people didn't mind Milo being in the club. This is America. I know we make exceptions for dogs nowadays, like letting them into restaurants, and they go into shop, like, grocery stores and stuff like that, and supermarkets and all those things. But till this day, I have never seen a dog in a club unless it was a K9 unit with the SWAT team. So I don't know where she thought it was going to be a good idea to bring Milo with them to the club. That's just dumb. That was dumb. Anywho, Bria either did that for some extra screen time attention, or she really didn't really want to go out for real. Because she basically sat in the car after that, like after they denied her and Milo, she sat in the car and called her boyfriend on the phone. While in the car talking with her boyfriend Simon, they basically reiterate that they haven't seen each other in a month and they're lonely without each other. But at the same time, she says that he gets upset because she's not there to cook, clean, and all of that for him. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but if that is the dynamic of their relationship and it works for them, go off. Okay. Anyway, Amir hosts a rodeo day the next day, since he's the fellow Texan in the house. He starts off the day with a good old Texan breakfast that looks so good. Those potatoes, those eggs, really good. That's my kind of breakfast right there. I could do that almost every day. Everyone is getting ready for the rodeo day, and Bravo just had to show Preston's bare naked ass and I guess that was a jock strap while he's getting ready. Okay, I guess. Also, in the midst of getting ready, Jasmine lets Bria know that Mariah will be coming, but she's not staying in the house. She's going to stay somewhere else, but she will be attending an event at the house. Jasmine thought it was the balanced thing to do to maintain her friendship with both Bria and Mariah, since basically Bria was there for her when Silas at Silas's deployment party. She was one of the only people in the house who showed up. I think the other person was Alex, who was there. And Mariah has just been her best friend for a very long time. They were homeless together. So she just wanted to create a balance where she's able to maintain both of those friendships at the end of the day, which I completely agree with her. I actually commend Jasmine for finding a respectable, alternative and looking at this from both sides, because if it were me, I would have told Bria she just needed to suck that shit up because it wasn't that deep. But then again, that's just me. I could get to that point where, yeah, I just don't care. Preston sets aside to have a quick talk with Phil over FaceTime. Phil apologized for the way he acted in his few hours / cameo in the house, and apologized for making Preston feel uncomfortable, which was really great of him to do so, because it was very much needed. He says he's been in therapy and really working on himself to be better, and wanted to extend an apology to Preston and the rest of the guys. Preston accepts his apology and then they joke a little bit, but overall the call ends on good terms and all is well between the two of them. That's good. I don't believe Phil's apology to Preston was that genuine. But you never know for certain until you're in the same room with somebody face to face again to see if it really was that genuine. I'm not too sure about it, but again, you just never know until you're face to face with somebody and how they react or they act around you. So yeah, they get to the ranch dressed in their best wait, let me pronounce this word correctly. Equestrian gear, excuse me. My favorite outfits were Noelle and Preston, of course. I feel like those two are the best two. I actually like Nick's style, but when it comes to the women, I would say Noelle is the best dressed, and Preston and Nick are like neck and neck for me. Like, it could be like one day it could be Preston did that, and then the next day it could be Nick. Like, I really like how he put together his things. It's a preppy look, but I'm versatile when it comes to the styles. So I very much like the way that Preston and Noelle and Nick do it up. Amir and Jordan tell us briefly of their past of riding horses. Jordan just so happened to be a competitive rider. While there, everyone is riding horses with the exception of Jasmine, who was pregnant and doesn't want to take the chance on a horse. And Shanice, who has to call off to the side for a potential job opportunity. After riding horses, they do a team game of combined activities like potato sack racing, fake pony riding, and apple bobbing. It looked like it was a lot of fun. They looked like they enjoyed themselves. They had a great time. I love the games that they come up with so far on the show. Even at my big age, I still love to play games like that and have that kind of fun. Like, it reminds me of my elementary school field days, like the days I guess the teachers and the students would pick out of the one day before school ends, and everybody just have a free-for-all and have like these competitive races, and eventually kids would win medals and trophies and stuff like that. So yeah, reminds me of those days. But anyway, on the way home from the rodeo day at the ranch, Jasmine texts everyone that dinner will be that night and there will be a special guest. Everyone's wondering who it's going to be, while Bria is saying that if Mariah comes, it's basically a slap in the face to her after her and Jasmine's early conversation, talking about if Mariah does show up, then she'll realize Jasmine is the ops. Girl, shut up. I'm tired of saying it's not that deep. Anyway, also going on later that night is Apollo night. But until dinner, everyone is basically going to hang out. Amir gets on the phone with his girlfriend Natalie, who seems to be very standoffish. I'm not sure if she's getting a bad edit or what, but she seems like when she's on the phone with Amir, she seems very standoffish, or she has like an attitude or something, just like a still face. Like, I don't understand what that's about, but I don't know if it's a bad edit or if that's just the way that she always is. But from what Amir, I keep on saying Nick, what Amir explains, that he usually has to guess. He has to guess what's going on with Natalie and figure it out and then go from there, because she's not going to tell him. That sounds very immature. I don't know how a relationship is going to work like that without you communicating your feelings, because no one's a psychic. They're not going to know like your feelings and how you feel about certain situations. Like, if you're not sharing the information, you can't expect somebody to know and react the way that you want them to react if they have no clue about it. So I'm not saying you might, Amir, like, I'm not saying you might need to go find yourself another girlfriend, but I'm not saying that either. Catch that. Anyway, Summer, Bria, Noel, Jordan, and Shanice are hanging out at the pool, talking when Bria brings up if Summer and Noel had the chance to talk any further about the situation with Alex. Noel brings up again that she was unaware that Summer and Alex had past dealings where they actually were on a physical level. They slept together. Summer goes on to say that she thought it was understood just how much she and Alex had dealt with each other when she told Noel about it before, when Noel brought up that, she was interested in Alex and maybe wanted to pursue him. Bria asked Summer why wasn't she just straight up or straightforward with Noel about sleeping with Alex. Summer says that she didn't know if Noel really liked Alex because she had never even met him before. So Bria agrees, and Summer immediately stops her, like saying, I'm not done. Then Bria quickly checks Summer like, I'm agreeing with you, don't do that. Like, it's crazy. Like, Summer, girl, you really are on one this season. You really are on one. Summer says that it wasn't her intention to set Noel up and make her look dumb over Alex. Obviously not, because that Sam seems to be obviously not, because that's the stance she seems to be taking this season and doesn't want anybody else to. And I'm talking about Summer. Catch that. Summer then does and says too much when she says, I should have told you he had been inside of me and how I made him come so many times. Girl. See, this is what I be talking about with you, Summer. When we say that you are still hung up on Alex, like, this is what we talking about. Because why would you repeat that? Why would you need to tell anyone that? Like, that's not what they're talking about. You seem to flip out every time dude name is brought up within the group. Like, if it's just you guys, or even if it's just you and somebody else, you seem to flip out at the mention of you and Alex's past dealings. Like, I don't get that. I feel like there's still something going on, not with you and Alex, but you and what your true intentions were with Alex that you are not sharing. You're saying that it wasn't that deep for you, that you guys were just friends with benefits, but it seems like it was that deep to you. I'm sorry. Summer gets up from the pool and walks away. Noel recognizes something deeper is going on with Summer and says that when someone is hurting inside, they are quick to lash out and slow to listen, and I completely agree with that, and that's exactly what Summer is doing. She's not grasping Noel's issue or lack thereof. Summer says she wasn't trying to make Noel look dumb, yet Noel approached Alex in the club that night upon Summer's advice, which people are forgetting. When she had that issue, when she saw Alex in the club talking to that girl, flirting, whatever, and before she went out there and embarrassed herself, she was basically asking Summer, it was Summer and I believe it was Jasmine, should she have a conversation with Alex about how it's making her feel watching him flirt with another girl in the club. And Summer was like, yeah, you should definitely talk to him. Yeah, you need to talk to him. No, like, if you already know how Alex moves, like, Summer, if you know how Alex moves and he basically was acting the same way with you, why would you tell her to do that? I think that she set her up to look dumb to Alex. So Alex could push her away and it'll be easy breezy for her. Like, she won't have to deal with seeing them together, right? But on the other hand, Noel, once you found out Summer and Alex slept together, you should have let that interest go, or at least scaled it all the way back. Instead, you went full throttle by buying him something to eat, which he was unappreciative of. That right there should have let you know that Alex was not worth any of the confusion, embarrassment, nor the unnecessary conflict with Summer. Because that bullshit, like that was ridiculous. Definitely should have scaled back. You should have dead that shit. Anyway, Noelle follows Summer inside eventually, but stops to talk to Jasmine. While the two of them are talking, Amir comes in with a sandwich. It stands there watching them, listening to their conversation. They catch him and he says he's just the audience. He's just observing, basically. He just wants to see what's going on. And I chuckled a bit because that would definitely be me. Standing by with my sandwich and my drink in my hand. Listening, observing, like, what's going on. Staying out of the bullshit, too. But it was some good comic relief. And I enjoy that every now and again, right? Summer comes into the kitchen and Noelle asks if they could go off and talk. They go off and talk privately. Noelle apologizes if Summer felt like she was being attacked, and Summer says she wasn't upset with her. She was upset with Bria. Noelle eases it over to let her know that it was just to clear things up. It was a brief conversation that was needed to move on. I hope that it was the last time we hear them speaking about this situation with Alex, because Alex and Noelle are not a thing. They never really was a thing. Noelle was interested, but Alex wasn't that interested. Noelle embarrassed herself, but it is what it is. They moved on. So this should be the last of that we hear of the Noelle, Alex, and Summer triangle, if you want to call it that. Everyone gets ready for dinner, then joins Jasmine downstairs at the dinner table, where she makes her announcement that she and Silas are expecting. Everyone is joyful, but doesn't seem too shocked about it. Mostly everyone assumed that she was pregnant due to her growing chest area and her, her mocktails that she's been drinking. I found it interesting that Noelle was the first one to get up and, go over and give Jasmine a hug and, congratulate her and all of that. Either the rest of them ain't worth a damn, or they already knew and they were just basically trying to play it off for the camera or whatnot, which I think most of them already knew, and it wasn't too much of a shock to them. They probably already found out before they got there and congratulated her and all of that. Anyway, Noelle says this beautiful prayer over Jasmine and the baby, and it was such a touching moment. It was, it was very heartfelt. I nearly got a little choked up listening to it, but it was good, and it was very much needed for Jasmine. I think she was able to release, any stress that she was feeling by keeping her pregnancy a secret from everyone, and just basically trying to put on that she was okay, but realizing that this is one of the main reasons why I'm not okay, and I'm so concerned about my husband being deployed this time. So I think it gave her some comfort to see everybody there for her and be in such support for her, and just be happy and joyful for her in the moment. Apollo night then happens, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, I feel like Apollo night was so dry. I don't know why. It was super bootleg. Shanice, Summer, and Noelle are alien singers called Meow Meow Meow, if I'm not mistaken. They were well coordinated. The outfits were kind of cute. They had some dance moves I see that they were doing, but other than that, I don't know what they were doing. Jordan and Nick switch personas. It was cool, but they didn't do much else. They just basically, switch personas and said I'm Nick and I'm DJ Jordy Jor or something like that. It was alright. Jasmine rapped. Girl, don't do that again. Alex pretended to sing, or he actually did sing. I mean, it sounded like it was something that he was around the house doing. Now, it didn't really seem like he was really singing, like he was giving you vocals. I don't know. Bria and Milo did a gymnastics set. It was cute, but nothing to call home about. And Amir performed his Chat GPT poem. Thank you, AI. Yeah. The episode was a great filler episode. I liked it. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys right now on this. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and share, and come back to see me in the next one. I'll be seeing you. Bye.